I'd like to bring this meeting of the Williamsburg-James City County School Board to order. Is there a motion to certify closed session?
Madam Chair, I certify to the best of each member's knowledge the Williamsburg-James City County School Board, while in closed session, discussed only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements as stated in Virginia law, and that only such public matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered.
Second.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Souza?
Ms. Hummel.
Aye.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Mrs. Young.
Aye.
Dr. Beers.
Aye.
Ms. Cook.
Aye.
Ms. Omby.
Aye. Moving on to item 3.1, the Pledge of Allegiance. I will lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Souza, would you take the roll, please?
Dr. Beers.
Here.
Ms. Cook.
Here.
Ms. Hummel.
Here.
Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Mrs. Taylor is absent. Mrs. Young.
Here.
Ms. Omby.
Here. Item 3.3, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I move approval of the agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Beers. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Souza?
Mrs. Young.
Yes.
That
Aye.
works.
Aye. Dr. Beers.
Yes.
Ms. Cook.
Yes.
Ms. Hummel.
Yes.
Mr. Kelly.
Aye.
Ms. Omby.
Aye. Thank you. Moving on to item 4.1, announcements and Superintendents Report. Dr. Herron?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My report this evening begins with a reminder for families to please join our teachers and staff for back-to-school nights this week. Middle school events started just a few minutes ago and will continue until 8 o'clock. Tomorrow is back-to-school night at our 3 high schools, and all of our elementary schools will welcome families for back-to-school night on Thursday, also from 6 to 8 p.m. We hope to see many of our students and families there. As you know, the school year is off to a fantastic start. Students are back in their classroom routines and learning is taking place throughout our buildings. Last week, school cafeterias were the learning space as elementary and middle schools hosted the first Farm to School Tri-Day. This award-winning program brings locally grown produce to our schools and allows students to try vegetables they may not have had before. SHIP, Child Nutrition Services, Master Food Volunteers, Parent Volunteers, and William & Mary interns all work together to support the program in WJCC schools. Last week, students sampled yellow squash, green zucchini, and gold zucchini. Tomorrow is the second Tri-Day of the year. Elementary students and sixth graders at the middle school will taste roasted red potatoes. I think I would enjoy those. I'll let you know how that goes. Finally, I would like to thank the local police departments, especially our school resource officers, for partnering with us again this school year to keep our students, staff, and communities safe. Just last week, police and the school division teamed up to release a video with safety tips for drivers who share the road with our big yellow buses each day. Let's take a look.
Williamsburg-James City County Public School buses make 672 runs every day and transport almost 11,000 students daily. This past school year, there have been over 1,000 stop arm violations reported, and we need your help to stop this very dangerous practice.
When you see yellow lights on the school bus, be prepared to stop. When the red lights are activated, you must stop. Wait until the stop bar is retracted and the red lights are off before proceeding.
The yellow flashing lights are not an invitation to try to beat the reds.
The only exception to stopping for a school bus with red flashing lights is if you are traveling in the opposite lane and there is a physical barrier, such as a solid median between the travel lanes.
Passing a school bus with red lights activated may result in being charged with reckless driving.
Also, remember when traveling through school zones, if there are yellow lights on a school zone sign activated, you must follow the reduced speed limit.
Fines for speeding in the school zone are higher than normal speeding violations.
So remember,
be patient,
pay attention,
to help ensure the safety of our children.
Our first responders are wonderful community partners. As a reminder, representatives from both Williamsburg and James City County Police and Fire serve on the school's Division Safety Committee. This group supports our Goal 4 of our strategic plan, Elevate Beyond Excellence, by reviewing our current safety procedures and looking at other resources that we may wish to use in the future. On behalf of our students, staff, and administrators, I want to thank our first responders for all they do to keep us safe in and out of school. Madam Chair, that completes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Herron. Board members, do you have reports that you would like? Ms. Cook?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to provide an update on the School Liaison Committee meeting that took place on September 11th, just to let our colleagues and the public know that during that meeting, you gave an update to the localities on the Child Development Resource Lease and let them know that we had a certain end date for that to make them aware. Dr. Herron and her team reviewed the Bright Beginnings enrollment history over the last 5 years and talked about that program. The group agreed to follow last year's lead in having a separate joint meeting to discuss the capital improvement plan exclusively, and I think Ms. Surza is polling everyone to confirm that date. And also, Dr. Herron and her team presented a presentation about the need for a new elementary school, and we all discussed and affirmed that need as defined in our current capital improvement plan adopted by all 3 bodies. So, is there anything else I forgot?
I think that's it. Thank you very much, Ms. Cook. And I know Ms. Taylor was not able to attend the first Special Education Advisory Committee meeting, which was held last week, but they began their regularly scheduled meetings, and I'm looking forward to additional reports and see what they're focusing on this year. Unless there's additional, we do not have any recognition of students or staff, item 5.1, and I don't believe we have any citizens' comments, Ms. Surza? Okay, so moving on to the consent agenda. Item 7.1, approval of minutes from the following meetings, August 20 and September 3rd. Item 7.2, financial report, monthly bills and payroll for August 2019. Item 7.3, personnel actions. Item 7.4, revised policies GAB, IIBEA, acceptable technology system use. KGB, public conduct on school property, and policy KGCGBECA, tobacco use on school property. And lastly, item 7.5, resolution R-13-19, bullying prevention month, which will be recognized in October.
Chair, I move that we accept the consent agenda as you have presented.
Ms. Young, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Surza?
Dr. Beers?
Aye.
Ms. Cook?
Aye.
Ms. Hummel?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mrs. Young?
Aye.
Ms. Ownby?
Aye. Thank you. Moving on to action items, 8.1. Is there a motion to approve the preliminary financial report and year-end spending plan, June 2019?
Madam Chair, I move approval of the preliminary financial report and year-end spending plan, June 2019.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Surza?
Ms. Cook?
Aye.
Ms. Hummel?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mrs. Young?
Aye.
Dr. Beers?
Aye.
Ms. Ownby?
Aye. Moving on to item 8.2, award a contract for invitation for bid number 20-14133, security vestibule improvements for WJCC Public Schools, and we discussed this at our last work session.
Madam Chair, I move that we award a contract for invitation for bid 20-14133, security vestibule improvements to TST in the amount of $359,650.81.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Surza?
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mrs. Young?
Aye.
Dr. Beers?
Aye.
Ms. Cook?
Aye.
Ms. Hummel?
Aye.
Ms. Ownby?
Aye. Thank you. Moving on to item 8.3, approve purchase request of laptops for high school student use. Motion.
Madam Chair, I move approve a purchase request of 1,330 laptops for high school student use. through the state contract with Lenovo in the amount of $522,690.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Surza?
Ms. Cook?
Aye.
Ms. Hummel?
Aye.
Mr. Kelly?
Aye.
Mrs. Young?
Aye.
Dr. Beers?
Aye.
Ms. Zomby?
Aye. Moving on to our proposed agenda items, we have 9.1, school bus purchase. Dr. Herron?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Ewan is going to present this item tonight, and it's about buying 2 buses from our current budget. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Herron. This agenda item is requesting your approval for the purchase of 2 special education school buses in the amount of $219,578 from Sunny Merriman under the state contract. The funds are allocated within the FY20 budget within the Transportation Cost Center for this purchase. Happy to answer any questions.
Ewing?
So this is part of our regular replacement cycle?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, are these the buses that have the side door that has the chair lift on it? I'm just asking.
We're not sure.
Okay,
Check
what's
on
the
that.
difference between a special needs bus and a regular bus?
Special needs bus can accommodate wheelchairs and other equipment for students with special needs.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Snipes.
Any additional questions? Thank you, Ms. Ewing. That moves us to item 10, board member comments. Ms. Cook? Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to just go back to the year-end spending and just thank staff for their work on that. The explanations were really good, and then also ask that we be updated on the process as it goes through the localities, please. Kind of moved like. And then also wanted to report that today Ms. Zomby and I went to tour Clara Bird Baker Elementary School. It was our first tour of the year, and I wanted to thank Mr. Hurley for his time. Councilmember Zhang and Supervisor McGlennon joined us, and we learned a lot about that wonderful school. Thank you, Ms. Cook. Dr. Beers?
I really have nothing to say tonight. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Beers. Mr. Kelly?
I just wanted to reiterate I thought the video was really good for with the police officers in the school buses, and I hope that gets wide play because I think it's very apropos.
Mr. Kelly and Ms. Young?
Yes, I just want to thank the officer in the back for being here. I always thank him. You can ask him, but I always appreciate that they're here. Thank you very much. I was missing you at the beginning of the meeting, so thank you for being here.
Thank you,
And
Ms.
Ms. Young, he was in the video tonight, too.
I
believe.
saw him. You look very smart.
Thank you, Ms. Young. Ms. Hummel?
So we're looking forward to a calendar coming out from all of them in the future? I'm just kidding. So anyway, yes, good job on the video.
Thank you, Ms. Hummel. And I would just like to add, it was an exciting first week of school with the hurricane, but I appreciate staff's work on making a decision and giving families enough time to make accommodations. And so it's hard to predict which way the wind's going to blow. But it's nice when families have time to make decisions and preparations. So I appreciate that, and it was an exciting first short week. So moving on to the meeting schedule, 11.1, upcoming events. Policy Committee is meeting on October 9th in the annex in room 309 at 8 a.m. The Special Education Advisory Committee is meeting at the James City County Recreation Center on October 10th at 6:30 p.m. And then upcoming school board meetings, we have closed session on October 1st at 5:45 in the annex in room 309, followed by a work session at 6:30 in room 300. We have closed session on October 15th and here at Stryker, room 123 at 6 p.m., followed by a public hearing on our CIP, the Capital Improvement Plan, at 6:30 p.m. At council chambers, followed by the regular meeting immediately following that. So unless there are additional comments, this meeting is adjourned.